I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tonight is a special evening. We're going to recognize the 2021 Don C. Guggemos Senior Community Service Award winners. And my first winner is going to be Becky Eberhard. Becky is a resident of Winsted and continues to positively impact the community by volunteering her time with several different organizations. Becky is a member of the Winsted Watershed Lake Association and continues to help with maintaining and improving the quality of our lake and streams. She is also one of the first people that raises their hand when we have to go out and clean around the whole lake. Becky is a troop committee chair for the local Boy Scout troops. She helps chair the volunteer for a variety of fundraising and demonstrates the importance of hard work and dedication to the youth she mentors. Becky is a committee member of the local Cub Scouts program and den leader. She continues to grow and improve the programs, and youth are able to learn the importance of these programs. Becky is a selfless leader who is always putting others before her own needs. Through her volunteerism and involvement with local organizations, Becky has and continues to make Winsted a better place to live. Congratulations. So, Becky's going to come over here. I might add that Becky and I go back way back. But anyway, Becky, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we are very fortunate to have us living in our community, and we hope that your family continues your efforts of work. So,
Thank you.
there you go. Go ahead, clap. The second organization is K-Way Express Incorporated. And I don't know if I'm going to do this one. Jim has always roughed me up. K-Way Express Incorporated and the Koch family have made significant contributions to the city of Winsted and the surrounding area. K-Way supplies trucks and drivers for various events, including Windstock and parades. K-Way is a sponsor and supporter of several community events, including the Winsted Summer Festival, Winsted Winter Festival, and the Winsted Lake Watershed Association. K-Way supports and donates to projects of Holy Trinity School and the Howard Lake Waverly Winsted schools. The city is proud to have the great business called Winsted home. Congratulations to the Koch family and K-Way Express. So if you want to step up here.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Our third, Winsted Knights of Columbus, Holy Trinity Council, 8253. The Winsted Knights of Columbus work to raise funds to donate to the local communities. The funds have provided money to support several local organizations and have helped build and remodel several areas of Holy Trinity School. The Knights have helped people in need after fires, storms, illness, and other unfortunate life events. They, with their families, serve at Windstock as volunteers and chaperone children's activities. The Knights are also part of several several other local organizations, and our hardworking, caring individuals. Congratulations to the Knights. Holy moly. Jimmy?
You could look like him.
Here, I'll just hold it like this. That's it? Gentlemen?
Congratulations, guys.
You can tell me. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to leave for the evening, that's fine. If you'd like to stay with us, that's fine. But we ask that if you stay, you behave.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Congratulations, everyone. Thanks for all your help.
Jimmy, make sure they keep up the good work.
I'll try.
Okay, tonight's council consent agenda consists of the following items. A, City Council Work Session, February 15th, 2022. City Council Regular Meeting, February 15th, 2022. City Council Work Session, March 1st, 2022. City Council Regular Meeting, March 1st, 2022. Authorize the city administrator to execute an agreement with Solberg's Tree Service for tree trimming and brush removal in the city of Winsted for an amount not to exceed $3,950. Consider a motion to authorize the city administrator to execute a quote from the Security and Sound Company for the purchase and installation of interview room and evidence room DVR system for an amount not to exceed $3,000. Authorize the city administrator to execute a quote from Northern Air Corporation to conduct airflow measuring conversion services at Winsted City Hall for an amount not to exceed $1,399. Authorize the city administrator to approve a quote from Marzars Water Rescue System Incorporated for the purchase of Ice Command gear for the Winsted Volunteer Fire Department for the amount not to exceed $4,500. Adopt Resolution R22-9 to accept a donation from the Winsted Fire Department Relief Association for the amount of $4,500 to be dedicated toward the Winsted Volunteer Fire Department's capital improvement plan. G, authorize the Winsted Farmers Market Organization to conduct events at Hanlon Park in 2022 and waive any applicable permits or fees for the use of the park. H, approve an energy emergency medical responder job description as presented and authorize the city administrator to advertise for 5 EMR positions. I, approve the pledge security that Security Bank and Trust Company has purchased for the city of Winsted for the month of February 2022. J, approve the building permit report for the month of February 2022. K, approve the financial report for the month of January 2022. Claims, approve the claims list for March 15, 2022. That is the consent agenda, and I will accept a motion to accept it as read.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. There are no public hearings this evening, and there's no old business, but there is new business. The first item under the new business is regarding the door access control system at the Winsted Fire Hall. Adam.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, everyone. The Winston Fire Hall contains specialized software and coordinating equipment to provide door access controls throughout the building for security and effective access control for the walk-in doors. Over the past few years, for sure for the last 3 or 4 years, the department has experienced several issues related to the door access controls and said software. Currently, only 2 of the 5 doors remain operational. In addition, the software to regulate the door access control system is outdated, and there's limited support available for the system and the hardware. The current system is limited to the existing equipment and cannot be expanded. So therefore, we have created, or there's certainly a created potential security risk. These issues interfere with the day-to-day operations of the fire department and could potentially cause delays when trying to attend to emergencies and calls. So in the recent months, the volunteer fire department and city staff have secured quotes from Heartland Security and Security and Sound Company for the installation of new door access controls and updated software to control and maintain the system. At the time when the quotes were obtained, we also looked at installing a similar system at the Public Works Building as well as at the Winston Police Department. And the results of those totality of those quotes are within your packet. But this evening, we're going to focus on specifically the fire department. So we're not looking for any kind of authorization at the Public Works Building or within the police department. It's strictly for the fire department. As you can see, again, we received 2 quotes from Heartland and from Security and Sound. The quotes are really similar in terms of the scope of the quote, other than Heartland Security has the electrical work broke out of the quote, whereas Security and Sound has the electrical work built within their quote. So hopefully that clarifies that a little bit. The door handles within this chart, the cost for new door handles throughout the department are depicted a little bit higher than what the actual quote came in from that separate contractor. Stay Safe Locksmiths ultimately came in at a quote of $983, so a little bit less than what we anticipated within this spreadsheet. But ultimately, the fire department is recommending the quote from Security and Sound, and it is, again, that system will be a standalone system from our system here, whereas the quote from Heartland would be something that we could administer off of our system and be programmed together. But due to the extensive cost difference, the fire department is recommending the standalone system, and then we believe as our administrative staff that we can still access their system through a VPN, so some technology that will still allow us to administer their system, but just not through ours, but we'll still have that ability, which is ultimately one of the goals as well, so we could take off some of those administrative items from the volunteer fire department in terms of granting access and administering that system. With all that being said, again, the Winston Fire Department and the city staff are recommending the quote from Security and Sound for an amount not to exceed $17,316. From a financial and budgeting standpoint, this project was not included on the 2022 CIP, but the Winston Fire Department Relief Association made a substantial donation at the end of 2021 that will more than cover this expense. That's why we were willing to come forward with this request, even though it wasn't budgeted, because their donation will cover this project and then some, and multiple projects. Similar to what the purchase on our consent agenda regarding the ICE Commander suits, again, that was due to a donation from the Relief Association on that. So we certainly appreciate their donation so we can secure these gears. With that being said, is there any questions for me regarding this recommendation this evening?
How long does this project take to implement?
Well, that's one of the benefits of going with Security and Sound. They'll likely get started with implementation within the next few weeks, whereas Heartland Security, their lead time was substantially longer. So we anticipate with Security and Sound, this project will be wrapped up within the next 4 to 6 weeks, if not sooner.
I have a question. Why are we doing it?
So our current door accessing system is failing, so only 2 of our 5 doors are accessible at this point or work. So again, we want to make all 5 of our walk doors accessible, so when we get called to the fire station for an emergency, our firemen, our fire department members can access any point of the building, as easily as possible.
Okay.
As-
Any other questions? If not, I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize the city administrator to execute an estimate with Security and Sound Company and Stay Safe Locksmiths for the purchase and installation of equipment and related software for the door access control system at the Winstead Fire Hall for an amount not to exceed $17,316.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item under new business. The next item is going to be a police department vehicle purchase. Adam?
Sure. As we discussed as part of the 2022 budgeting process, 2022 is a year for the police department per their schedule to replace one of their squad vehicles. So this evening, Chief Helt has joined us to present on that request. Chief?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, thank you for having me. So prior to 2009, we had 2 squad cars that we used for our patrols. And in 2009, the city council chose to purchase a 3rd squad car. 2 primary reasons for this were to ensure that 2 vehicles are always available in the event that we need more than 2 officers working at a time, which does occur. And also it allows for on-call police officers to maintain a vehicle at their residence when they're on call, so responding to emergency calls. Per this rationale, and per the capital equipment plan, the 2022 to 2026 capital equipment plan, the 2016 squad car, that is the squad car I'm operating, that squad car is scheduled to be replaced this year. I did reach out, or city staff did reach out, based on the Minnesota Cooperative Purchasing Venture, to the state bid dealer for Ford SUVs and obtained a quote which is included in your packet. I also included an attachment that shows the current status of our squad cars. We have 3 squad cars of 2016, 2018, and 2020, where they are on their mileage as well, and when they're scheduled to be replaced. In communicating with the dealer, I also obtained information regarding lead time, how long it would take to get the squad car. And then I also reached out to our typical vendors that we use to put graphics on our squad to install the equipment. There's a cage, is what it's called, in the back seat for the prisoner compartment. Squad camera, which is very similar to our body camera. We're utilizing that same program in the 2020 squad right now. And I obtained quotes from those vendors, which are also included in your packet. The squad car itself is estimated, the quote I received is approximately $36,285.38. The equipment to add into the new squad car to bring it up to speed so it'd be ready for the road is another $20,435.06. So the estimated cost with title and other fees is approximately $56,745.44. I referenced earlier the 2022 to 2026 capital equipment plan. Budgeted in that plan for this squad car purchase is approximately $63,400. So there is enough money budgeted for this purchase in that plan. With that, I will take any questions you have.
Again, what type of delivery time are you looking at from time of order?
The belief is 3 to 4 months is the hope.
Do we normally do our best to try and buy that locally?
So years prior to me being in the position I'm in, we would seek out bids, sealed bids from local dealers. And then in one of the city administrators, I can't remember who right now, we went to the state bid. The technical term, I believe, is the Minnesota Cooperative Purchasing Venture. I was directed that was the way we were going to go. So that's how we started going that route. But in the past, we had reached out to Waconia, Cokato, Blanco, or Hutch, I want to say.
The state bidding process is the most competitive bidding process. We can get the best price on these vehicles.
Okay. Any other questions?
I think it's worth noting one last thing, that this squad will have the same camera equipment installed as our last squad as we update this new process that ties into our body cameras. So we only have one vehicle left that does not have that updated technology, so that will be updated in 2024 with that last cycle and change over there. So again, the benefit again of following our schedule is the updated technology to match our body camera technology as well.
Good. Any other questions?
I'll make a motion to authorize the city administrator to purchase a 2022 Ford Interceptor SUV and corresponding vehicle equipment in an amount not to exceed $60,000.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item under new business is the new taxi line construction at airport. Adam?
Sure. At the February 15th City Council meeting, the City Council approved the plans and specifications as presented by Bolton and Mink for the taxi lane expansion project that has been proposed here in 2022, as well as authorizing those or approving those plan specs. The City Council also authorized Bolton and Mink to advertise for bids for the said project. The bid close date was March 11th. So in front of you or in your packet, you have an analysis of the bids that were received. The low bid was Ashwell Companies at $159,049.85. The high bid was $206,420.34. We had a total of 4 bids, as you can see there. The engineer's estimate came in at $172,476.50. So the low bid is approximately $13,500 less than the engineer's estimate. After review of the bidder's proposals, it was determined no mathematical errors were encountered with the bid proposals. The bids were further analyzed to determine whether necessary documentation was enclosed with the bid proposal in order to be considered the bid as being responsive as specified in the contract documents. It is the opinion of Bolton and Mink that all bids included the necessary documentation and therefore should be considered full responsive bids. If we move forward with approving the base bid this evening of the low bid of Ashwell Companies, again at $159,049.85, that will be funded then through the FAA at 90% of the project cost. MnDOT will cover 5% of the project cost, and then local, meaning the city of Winsted, will cover the last 5% of the project cost, which would equate to $7,952.49. So that's certainly less than what we anticipated with the project coming in below the engineer's estimate.
I have one question.
Sure.
Could you explain what the purpose is for?
Sure.
People at home know what.
Yeah, absolutely. To take a step back, the reason we are proposing, or the Airport Commission, city staff, and the aviation engineers are proposing this project here in 2022 is to expand the operations at the Winston Municipal Airport. So the City Council and the FAA and MnDOT invested a substantial amount of funds on redeveloping the runway in the most recent years. Now it's our goal to attract more use of the runway and facilities to help generate more revenue to cover those operational costs then. So obviously, the more hangars that we have available, the more revenue we can generate through rental rates, etc., as well as gas sales to offset some of our operational costs. We do have one lot available right now for new construction, but due to the elevations and nature of that lot, we've had a hard time selling said lot. But we do get a lot of inquiries on interested parties on building new hangars. So we believe that if we extend the taxi lane to allow for new hangar construction, we would generate that interest then out the runway. Moving forward, as part of the airport's CIP plan or capital improvement plan, in I think it's 2026, we have preliminary plans to construct some T hangars, city-owned hangars, that we could generate some revenue then by renting out those hangar spaces as well. So they would be located on this taxi lane as proposed this evening. So we feel we have some good bids. If we approve the bids this evening, per the recommendation, the next step, or this approval would be contingent upon the final execution of the grant documents with the Federal Aviation Administration as well as the Minnesota Department of Transportation in that grant funding process. So these projects are certainly grant dependent and execution of those grants prior to start of the project. Likely, if it follows typical grant timelines with the federal government, we would be notified that the grant was accepted and awarded by the beginning of August, and then we could start construction likely by the end of August, beginning of September. This is a 2022 proposed project for this fall.
Any other questions? Just in case somebody does not know, the city of Winsted owns the airport.
That's correct.
There are no other questions. I ask for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the bid from Ashwell Companies for the new taxi lane construction project, in the amount of $159,049.85, contingent upon final execution of Federal Aviation and Minnesota Department of Transportation grant funding documents.
Any other questions? I'll have a second then if we
I will second that.
have a second to all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is the organizational report from Winsted Lake Watershed Association. Adam.
Sure. The members of the Watershed Association were not able to attend this evening, but they did provide us some information that I'm going to read off, as well as I have some updates on some projects that the city is involved in regarding Winsted Lake. So start off with the notification from the Lake Association itself. They have a note here regarding the aeration system, that it's been doing a great job over the winter. But however, even with the job the aeration system has been doing, there is a probability that we will have some more fish kill this spring, and that's due to the low oxygen levels as we went into the winter. So the oxygen levels were low in the fall due to the temperatures, the hot weather we had last summer. So the last time an oxygen reading was done was about a week ago. At that time, the level was at a 4, and I think that's substantial. That's pretty low. So don't be alarmed necessarily, or they are anticipating some fish kill yet this spring. So we'll see how that goes. It looks like the Lake Association applied for a grant for the treatment of curly leaf pondweed, and they were notified that they were successful in that grant application, and they will receive approximately $3,000 for the treatment of curly leaf here in 2022. So that's good news. Moving forward, in regards to the city of Winsted, we are part of a group of governments, so different people within the watershed area, the Crow River watershed area, which Winsted Lake is a part of. We're a part of this group of organizations that are putting together what's being deemed as one watershed, one plan. So McLeod County received a grant to put together this plan to address the watershed district in the Crow River watershed. So it's a pretty important project, and once we have this plan established, then that'll help lead us to more grant funding opportunities with this plan. So George and I are part of that group, or George is officially part of that group, and I'm also attending those meetings as we put together this plan. In addition to that, McLeod County Soil and Water Conservation District applied for a second grant specific to the ditch system that leads to the north side of Winsted Lake. They awarded the first part of that grant, I think it was 2 years ago, and they made substantial improvements to that ditch system as we try to limit the amount of inflow of sediment, et cetera, into the lake. So now they're awarded a second grant to that system. And in that grant application, they're allocating $50,000 for a settlement pond north of the lake. So before that watershed gets to the lake. Now that's significantly less than what we have estimated for a project cost, but it's a start, right? It's $50,000. It's less, again, than we anticipated. So now we will work toward a concept plan on what a project could look like, and what some of the project costs would ultimately be. But we will likely try to partner with the Winston Lake Association, as well as the city council, then potentially determine if they have any funds available, and then combine that with the grant funds and see if we can get some sort of sediment basin constructed prior to that inflow into the lake. So we have a couple different projects going on associated with the lake as we try to meet our goals, the city council stated goals of working to contribute to the lake in general.
Adam, what more can be done to stop the fish kill than what we've done already?
The best thing that we could do and the easiest thing we can do is add more aerations. I believe we had 2 going, and when we got our first results back from the Department of Natural Resources, we added a 3rd aerator. This past year, we put in a new type of aeration for the lake. The aerators we have in the lake right now sit on the bottom of the lake, and they're fed air through a compressor that's sitting up here on the hill. And one of the reasons, a big reason why we did this is so that early spring, we've had to go out and chop ice and remove the aeration system. And we've had a couple of minor accidents doing that, like getting very wet with very cold water. So from what I can visualize, the aeration that we've got in now is really working quite well. We've had 27 swans and 200 geese so far sitting at the aeration. So if you look out at the lake, you'll see a large patch of open water. It's probably 45 feet wide, 100 feet long, or 100 yards long, and it seems to be being sufficient for what we need on this lake. The one thing that I'm excited about, and last Monday we had our first association meeting, is that we've got 5 new families that have become members of the association, and we're always looking for new people for the things that we have to do. But the new people are really excited about what we're trying to do with the lake. We tried to explain that Monday night at the meeting, so we're all in the same saddle and we're moving forward. So we're hoping for a good year.
So I think we're really fortunate that the Lake Association leads that aeration effort. You know, though it's not a city-led effort, other than we contribute the electricity for it. They lead the areas themselves. Last year when there was a fish kill, it all boils down to oxygen levels, and some of that is out of our control. It's just Mother Nature due to the temperatures in the summer. So we can do the best we can in adding aeration to try to keep the oxygen levels up as much as possible in the winter, but some of it's just out of control due to just Mother Nature.
Mother Nature.
What does it cost the city approximately for electricity to run the aeration?
We've analyzed that over the years. I don't have the numbers on the top of my head, but it's less significant now than it was previously due to the new aerators that were installed. Correct. Now I would say it's much more of an insignificant number versus what it used to be, without having the exact dollar figures available in my head.
We worked very hard at trying to figure out what it would cost us, and it's very difficult. Any other questions? All right, we've come, okay, step up and state your name and.
My name is Dale Ralston. If we have a bad fish kill, what is the chance of getting, like we had last year? We had so many dead fish and people complained that nobody did anything about it. I mean, I pulled probably about 300 fish off the shore. And I took it out to a local farmer. And people say, well, a few people asked, like, why didn't Winston get like a dumpster or something like that they could put down at the boat launching so they could take the fish down there? Is there any way of chance of that if we have a bad kill, winter kill, something like that could happen?
We would you really want to have a dumpster down there?
I mean, at least that would be someplace somebody could dump, put the fish someplace, because people don't know where to take them.
Right, we did make some spots available for dumping them, last time.
Okay, because I know I ended up calling a local farmer and see if I could,
Yeah, we tried to spread the word the best we could about some
Okay.
possible dumping locations the last time that this happened.
okay, well, like I said, people just asked and I was like, well, we could find out and see what
Yeah,
we could do.
it's
I mean,
best if they reach out to us so we can help direct
Okay,
communications.
all right, thank you.
And we had, I will say that we had great cooperation from some of the lake owners
Yep,
around the lake, working like you did, to get rid of them. And obviously, we didn't get rid of all of them, but between the swans and the seagulls, they took care of the rest.
well, yeah, but I know a lot of people say, oh, they didn't want to go walk around the lake because of the dead fish and all that, and it's just like, well, I don't blame you.
Certainly unfortunate,
Yeah.
no doubt about it.
One of our city people here was gonna have a fish fry with them, but we nulled that.
Last
Yeah.
Friday.
Thank you for your questions. We've come to the open forum portion of the meeting. If anyone wishes to address the council, please step up to the podium and state your name and address. If not, Adam, do you have any announcements?
I do have a handful of items. The bid opening for the 2022 street improvement project is scheduled for March 16th, so that's tomorrow at 10 a.m. With that being said, or after that bid opening, we are scheduled to present and award that project at the next city council meeting on April 5th. At that same city council meeting, we will look at awarding the bond issuance to finance that street improvement project here in 2022. At that same city council meeting, we will be reviewing sewer cleaning projects for 2022, as well as just general street maintenance projects. So that's our patching, crack filling, and seal coating. So that April 5th meeting will be pretty extensive in terms of projects to discuss. Lastly, the EDA meeting that is scheduled for this Thursday will be rescheduled due to some conflicting meetings that we have and some project timelines not matching up great. So we're looking to reschedule the EDA meeting to April 7th if it works with those commission members. That being said, that's all that I have this evening. If there's any questions for me, I would certainly entertain them.
Then we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Meeting is closed.
Thank you, everyone.